The Short Take with Alex and Jake.
Hello, and welcome to the Short Take Christmas Special.
Whoa!
The podcast where we talk about all things short films, apart from when we don't. And this week, we ain't talking about short films. We're talking Christmas films this week.
I was about to start singing This Is Halloween. Technically from a Christmas film, but
I feel like that's an argument for another day.
it's a Christmas film. It's about Christmas. It takes place in Halloween Town, but it's about Christmas.
No, I think I'm on the Christmas side on that one.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
It's a
most
Christmas
of my
film.
friends disagree.
That's stupid. Also, what the fuck even is a Halloween film? It's just it's just a scary film.
Yeah,
Is Nightmare Before Christmas scary? It just takes place in Halloween Town.
there's a bit with all the trees.
And Santa's in it. The plot is about Christmas.
Anyway, last year we ranked our favourite Christmas films of all time, our top
You haven't
5
introduced
Christmas films.
us.
Oh yeah, I haven't. It's a bit late now. I'm your host Jake, and with me, as ever, is my co-host Alex.
That's me.
That is you. Anyway, did that a little bit late, so let's move on quickly.
Last
Last
year.
year we ranked our top 5 Christmas films of all time.
Yeah.
We only had one crossover film,
Which was Love Actually.
which was Love Actually,
Yeah.
and I think we both had it in second.
Love Actually is all around our lists.
Yeah.
I don't know if we both had it. I don't think I had it in second.
No?
No, I think I had it earlier, and I think you had it higher up.
Okay, maybe.
I might be
maybe.
wrong, but
So we thought this year it would be fun to rank each other's favourite Christmas films. So,
have you included Love Actually in your ranking?
no.
Okay, good. I was about to say.
So I have watched Alex's other 4 Christmas films, and Alex has watched my other 4 Christmas films, discounting Love Actually because it was on
We
both of our
both seen
lists.
it, yeah.
Yeah, it was quite surprising because for the most part, neither of us had seen the films
Yeah,
on the
no.
others list. The 4 that I've now watched are Gremlins, Jingle All the Way, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and Jack Frost.
Yes. You'd seen Gremlins.
I'd seen Gremlins and I'd seen Jingle All the Way.
I was assuming that, yeah, okay.
Not for a very long time, though.
Okay, cool.
But you hadn't seen any of mine,
No, I hadn't seen any of them.
including Nativity.
I'd
to me.
seen the end of Nativity at some point,
Yeah.
and it's been a film that I'm like, oh, I should watch that for a long time, but I haven't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, I know. Like, it feels like something I'd watch.
Yeah. Before we get into the top 4, I guess,
Yeah.
we've both also ranked how we think the other person is going to rank these films, and we'll look at that at the end and see how close or far off we were.
Yeah.
I don't know how confident I am.
Yeah, I feel like yours is an easier one than mine is for you, if that makes sense. I don't know.
have
I think
reasonings for why I think you've ranked them how you have.
I'm very
and
curious.
I'm interested
what you
to
think.
see
I think there's one that's kind of not a hot take, but I think will surprise you.
a curveball.
Yeah, I don't think you've got it. I don't think you've 100% got it.
No, maybe not.
But
Probably not.
I think there's a percent chance I've got yours right.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, but I think there's a few that are like wild cards.
Okay. Do you want to kick us off with number 4?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even have to look at my list. I know my number 4 immediately.
Yeah.
The Princess Switch 2 switched again, which I still can't believe is anywhere on anyone's top 5 Christmas films, but it was. Where did you have it ranked last time? Do you remember? I didn't bother looking at that. I should have.
I don't remember. It was probably 5.
It must have been.
Yeah, it was probably 5. Do you have any opinions on it?
So here's my big opinion on it. So first of all, okay, I haven't seen the first one,
I love that.
and I haven't seen the third one.
Don't
and
watch
I never
that one.
will.
Yeah.
The Princess Switch 2 switched again. Here's what I took away from it.
Uh-huh.
Vanessa Hudgens doesn't do a good British accent. It's filmed like it's a Hallmark movie, but it's made by Netflix.
I mean, it is a Hallmark movie, really.
Yeah, but like, not even a good one. And then the little girl is awful in it. That child is a terrible actress.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it'd be so easy to find a kid who'd be better than her. I don't understand how they like ended up with this kid.
Yeah.
She's terrible.
I'm going to be honest. I have watched this film once, and it was last year. I put this on my list quite impulsively, I think.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
No.
There were so many better Christmas films. And then, okay, here's my big thing. I fell asleep at the end.
Did you?
Full on fell asleep, and I've not gone back to watch it yet. I don't know what happens. And I don't care. Yeah, I do not like that film.
Were they already married?
I don't know.
Okay. Can't remember how it
It
ends
does
either.
give you a quick wrap up at the beginning of the last film.
Yeah.
And yeah, it explains that like, oh, she is with the prince guy, like as in the American girls with the prince guy.
Yes.
Also, they're not related, which is insane.
Oh, they just look alike.
They just look alike. But then there is a cousin who looks identical.
I think in the first film there's a throwaway line where they're like, "Oh, the dad had an affair or whatever."
They
Do you know what I
never
mean? Like,
mention it. They never mention
no, it's a
it.
throw. It's like
No, I mean in
They-
the second one they never mention being
Yeah,
related.
yeah.
They're just like, oh well, we look alike. I'm like, what?
oh well, we're both played by Vanessa Hudgens.
But then there's a cousin
so-
who looks identical, and I think that's
Yeah.
maybe funny because it's like maybe an incest joke. Like, yeah, they explain that like she got with the prince guy, and then the princess got with the baker's friend, but they've
Yeah.
broken up. And the plot's all about them
Oh,
trying to push them
yeah.
back together, and that's
Yeah.
weird. And like, it's so awkward, the dialogue. They're just like,
yeah.
why don't you go and make the hot chocolate with the princess? And the princess is like, okay. And like, the princess clearly wants to get it on with this like posh guy who's a dickhead, but like, if that's what she wants, leave her to it.
Yeah,
Because the baker guy's annoying. But yeah, I did
Yeah.
not enjoy that.
How
film.
involved was Santa? In
I
the
didn't
story?
spot him
No.
in the film. I don't know if it's
Okay.
because I fell asleep at the wrong
Right,
point.
right. Because
But
in the first one, so you know, in Christmas films, there's
there's always
usually
that
there's a
figure.
Santa,
Yeah, I get it.
who just lightly pushes them in the right direction
Yeah.
at some point.
Didn't you say in the
It's-
second one or the
he
third
is
one he's like
so in-
micromanaging?
Yeah, it's the
I remember you
first
saying
one.
that.
He fully just micromanages the entire story to happen, and like they only end up together because of how much he interferes.
Is the first film a Christmas film as well? Are they all
Yeah,
Christmas
they're all
films?
Christmas
That's
films.
so weird.
No, actually, I think the third one maybe isn't. The third one goes a bit like spy thriller.
Yeah, don't they all? I looked at a poster. Don't they
Yeah.
all become the cousin? Is like the
Yes.
idea.
I didn't finish that one.
Stupid.
My biggest regret for my list from last year,
Is
actually.
that?
No, it's that there's 3 Netflix films on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I regret
You should.
that.
What's your number 4?
My number 4, I think, is gonna maybe throw you off a bit.
I think I know what it is.
Yeah?
But go for it.
It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
That's what I guessed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I watched this one.
Which is my number 1.
It is your
Yeah.
number 1, yeah. I watched it last night. It's
Yeah.
simply not for me.
That's so fascinating. I figured this would be the
strongly
case.
disliked it.
What don't you like about it?
I think the humor is awful. It's so lowball jokes
Oh,
all
100%.
of the time.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that in
It's
comedy.
mean spirited as well, which is funny because it's a Christmas film.
Yeah, I don't mind that too much.
Mm.
I will say I liked the effort to do the family dynamic.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's pretty relatable for
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Not getting on with your family at
Yeah.
Christmas.
That's essentially the core of the film.
Yeah. Maybe it's something to do with not liking Chevy Chase.
That's
very
fair.
much.
Yeah, he's a dickhead.
He is a dickhead. But just like I was like fully like cringing and like I wanted to turn it off multiple times.
What's like give me an example of a joke that you're like, that was fucking awful.
So when he goes to buy his wife a
Oh,
present,
that bit, yeah.
and there's a woman there with a low cut top,
Yeah.
and he cannot stop saying boob,
Yeah.
and it's like, what the fuck am
I
I
like the
watching?
payoff of the joke where Russell comes up and he's like, hi dad, and he's like, hey Russell. Russell! I enjoyed that bit. That's funny.
And then there's like, it's horrible, but then it becomes an excuse for her to undress when he's having the weird hallucination at the swimming pool.
Yeah, he sees her like in the
Getting
swimming
undressed,
pool.
and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Why are we watching this?
It's the 80s. It was
and women
different.
don't get respected.
Exactly.
Yeah, Chevy Chase's character is the only character in the entire film, and he's barely a character.
Yeah, I mean, Randy's a character in it, like the brother. I think
He's
that's
the
his
only one who
name.
comes close. Yeah,
I think the wife's a character in it, Beverly.
She is
Beverly
not.
D'Angelo.
She is
maybe
not.
it's okay. I think what it might be is that they're a series of films, so maybe
I
it's
know,
just
yeah.
I'm bringing it from that.
she
But like,
just exists in the background to cook dinner and get the
yeah,
daughter
she
out of the
doesn't.
way.
She doesn't have a ton of.
It's incredibly like gender rolled,
I mean, it's a
gender
National Lampoon's
stereotypes.
film, so.
Like I don't know, it just.
But you're
it's
not
like,
wrong at all.
So many people, because it's really highly rated.
Yeah.
So many people will
It's-
watch this.
It's a Christmas classic. I think is the problem. And it's a generational thing.
Yeah, it's just.
I
wild
grew
to
up
me.
watching it, and it is funny to me.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I think part of it is like you get on with American humor a lot more than I do.
That's very true as well. Yeah.
And it's full of American humor, and
100%.
I fucking hated it. I will never be watching that film again.
I knew you were gonna have it so low on the list. It's my number 1, baby. Every Christmas.
What's your number 3?
My number 3. Just check.
Oh, he's having to check.
I'm to check just in
He's
case.
forgotten.
I actually know what it is. I don't know why I had to think about that. I think this is where I'm gonna throw your list off. Also, did you have Did you have Princess Switch at number 4 out of curiosity for when you're guessing mine?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
So we both guessed our
Correctly
number
for the
4s,
number
yeah.
4, yeah.
Mine number 3, and I think this is what's going to fuck you up.
Mhm.
Nativity.
No, I knew that.
You did?
Yeah.
This is fascinating. Okay. I did not enjoy this film.
Fuck them kids? Is that your opinion?
No.
No?
I don't
Okay,
want
that's
to
what I
legally
thought.
say fuck them kids.
Because you dislike them.
No. Okay, here's my problem. First of all, I think it's a really badly made film.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think genuinely it's pretty shoddy. Like,
What do you
they
mean?
clearly have a really low budget, and they do
Well,
not...
yeah, it is a low budget film.
Yeah, I know, but like, it looks it in the worst way. Like, you can have a low budget film that's like, doesn't, like, they manage to hide it or like get away with it. This
No,
film
I
I'm
quite
just watching
like it.
My biggest issue is this film is clearly copying School of Rock, but they just don't do it well.
Right.
And none of the kids are characters. Like, there's one kid in there's two kids. There's Bob,
Yeah.
who just, let's be honest, he's just a funny looking kid. Like,
Yeah.
that's why you remember him.
Yeah.
And he has some funny moments. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Then there's that one kid who they're like, oh man, you're acting like a bully and all this
Ollie.
stuff, but I know you're not a bully.
Yeah.
You're cool. And even then, I did not remember his name.
He's got
Other than
spiky
those
hair.
two, they all have spiky hair. Other than those two, none of the kids are characters, and I swear to God, every scene that they're in, it could have been a different group of kids, and I would not have noticed.
Right.
There's too many of them. None of them are characters. Think about School of Rock. You can, like, not name, but you know every single one of those kids, pretty much. Like, you could probably picture every single one,
I
for the most
can't,
part.
but it's because I've not watched the film in like
Okay.
10 years.
If you did, they're all distinct people,
Mhm.
and they all have their own personalities and, like, things to them, right?
Yeah.
And also, they're older. They're not, like, these kids are too young. It's stupid.
Right.
Like, it's not entertaining. They're just annoying. They're weird. It's like a group of too many kids, and they're too annoying. I don't like that. The plot's kind of just like stupid. I don't care. I like Mr. Poppy. Like, obviously he's a fun character, and I like seeing him interact with the children. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
Martin Freeman is hilarious. He's such a good actor, and he's a genius comedy actor. Do not care about him in this film at all.
No?
He's so underutilized.
Oh, I really liked him in it.
No, he's shit. The beginning of the film where they're setting up the like what's going on is so, again, it's just badly done. It's so paint by numbers. Like, it's the bit where he's like, it goes on for like 10 minutes or something with him just being like, this is me, this is my ex-girlfriend, and this is like my best friend. We were dressing up as elves and doing plays, and we said, oh man, I'm gonna be a producer, I'm gonna be a teacher. Those who can't teach primary school, haha. Then he did a play in a private school and got 5 stars. I did a play and got 2 stars. And that's why I hate Christmas. And it's like, oh my God. Like, and the rest of the film doesn't really have anything to do with him hating Christmas. Like, it's not like him going around going like, ugh, no Christmas. He just apparently hates Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
And it's stupid. They wasted Pam Ferris as the head mistress. She's such a good actress, Miss Trunchbull. The guy, I never remember the actor's name, but the guy who plays like the villain, quote unquote, in it, like the private school teacher. Also, very good actor, very funny. I feel like he's fine in it. Like, doesn't really get used. The whole thing about them taking 2 children to America is insane.
Yeah.
What? And like, what do you think was gonna happen? It's stupid. Also, there's this weird scene where the girlfriend character speaks to her boss, and she's like, please, I need you to go over there and just like go and see this play. And he's like, why the fuck would I do that? It's insane. And she's like, because I get you a coffee every morning. And so he's like, that's your job.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. And then it cuts away.
Yeah.
And at the end of the film, they just turn up. It's like, wait, what was the moment that locked in when she admitted that was her job? It's like, what? Stupid. The end performance isn't that great. I'm sorry, but they're just a bunch of kids. And
Oh, I like
it's,
it.
It's not that good. And again, it's this thing of School of Rock has the cute element, but it also, there are genuinely talented kids who do this performance at the end of the film, and you're like, wow, that's amazing they did that. In this film, they're too young to be talented enough to do something cool. So at the end of the film, there's no stakes in that sense. It's just like, oh, it's like, yeah, I guess they're having fun. That's nice. The only bit I got any like satisfaction from was the moment you see Ollie is Joseph, but then also everyone's Joseph apparently, so it doesn't really have the same impact. Because my first thought was when they were showing the kids Joseph, I was like, wait, wasn't his letter like, oh, please let me be Joseph, Santa? Like, I really want to be Joseph. And I was like, that's not Ollie as Joseph. That's fucking sad. And it's everyone's Joseph. The fuck is this? I don't like it. And it really shocked me because I wanted to like it. And it's like my kind of film. Did not vibe with it.
No, fair enough.
Alan Carl's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
He pops up and I
He's
was like...
always eating a sandwich.
Yeah, I know, it's just fun.
Yeah.
But also I was like, you know what? He's not being Alan Carr. Like, he's actually
No, yeah,
acting.
yeah.
And I really appreciate... I was like,
Yeah.
considering how much of a character he is as a person,
Yeah.
I was like, he's really good in this. Just being like, he's still funny, and he's playing a character who's funny, but he's not being Alan Carr, and I really thought that was impressive. I didn't anticipate that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside of that, I didn't like it at all.
Well, I disagree with most of the stuff you said. I can see where you're coming from with some of it.
I feel like you must have
But-
nailed the list then. There's no way you've gotten the last two wrong. It'd
No.
be so interesting if you had.
Yeah. No, I still really like that film.
A lot of people
and
do. I know I'm a minority on that.
I expected you to dislike it, I think.
That's so interesting.
I was disappointed. I'm disappointed that I was right,
Yeah.
but I did expect it.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3, my number 2 and my number 3 I kind of struggled with,
Okay.
but I've ended up on number 3 as Jingle All the Way.
That is also what I've done.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I wish I'd done it the other way around now.
I think I fucked up the last two, but we'll see.
This one's pretty good.
Oh,
I like Jingle All the
It's a
Way.
classic.
Yeah, it like whoever. I don't think this is the first time Arnie is a family man in a film.
No, but it's
whoever
one of the main
thought
ones.
of that as an idea is a genius.
Exactly.
Like
Everyday all-American man, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
that's who we need.
Yeah.
Get him.
Put the cookie down.
Like it's got something that we didn't touch on for our previous 3 that we've talked about is the Christmas vibe in them.
Yes.
I think this film hits the Christmas
Big
vibe.
Christmas vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
National Lampoon's for me kind of does,
Yeah.
but not enough.
Fair enough.
And I didn't like the film, so like it doesn't matter. This one, yeah, it hits the Christmas vibe.
100%.
It's got that like running around trying to get your kid a toy for Christmas,
Such a
like the last minute panic,
Yeah.
and like working too much over Christmas and so not having enough time to do these things, and
Yeah.
like being a bit too selfish and not looking out for your kid, kind of thing.
Yeah.
The insane stuff at the end where like the costume
So funny.
actually has all of the abilities
So
of the
good.
cartoon.
The-
Like
that Sinbad shoots his fist off
yeah, and
his
then
hand.
it
at the
retracts
end.
back
Yeah.
into his hand.
It's like, what?
What is honestly? It was just
And then when he
insane.
gets it back, he goes, with his fingers, like,
Yeah,
so his
yeah.
hand did come out.
Yeah.
Like,
Just insane.
Love it.
And I really appreciate that it just lent into the goofiness of it.
Yeah.
I really like. It's such a solid film.
Yeah.
It's just like I think it's just very like mid.
Disagree, but fair
Yeah,
enough,
I like
fair
it.
enough.
I like it a lot, but
Yeah.
it's not an annual watch.
I just think it's so wacky is why I love it. Like,
It is really
it's
wacky,
as
yeah.
fuck. And I think it's really weirdly... I think it's fascinating how much... Because I used to watch it a lot as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of fascinating how many of the jokes in it are adult. Like,
Yeah.
the whole parcel bomb thing,
Oh my god.
which is very funny.
Yeah.
It's the recurring gag, and then it's the joke of Sinbad doing that recurring gag. Then it actually going off and him
I
going,
think he-
people are sick.
I feel like maybe I missed one, but I feel like he only did that joke twice.
I think he does
and
do
the
it
second
twice.
time is
Yeah.
when it's the bomb.
Yeah.
Which doesn't, because obviously the rule is 3, so
Which
it's
is
unexpected.
interesting.
Which I think kind of works in its favor because it's like you're expecting there to be another one
Yeah.
when it happens, but then it just happens. You're like, oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
there's a bomb.
So I feel like instead the recurring gag, the free thing is, which is funny enough, pays off the same bit, is the cop where he knocks over his bike.
Yes,
Then something
yeah,
else
yeah.
happens, and then it's
He does
him,
that a bunch of times.
Yeah.
He pisses that cop off.
which is very funny.
The bomb.
I also
going
love
off
that
is-
it cuts back to them to reveal that like they're okay. It's a comedy bomb.
Yeah.
like
They're not
because,
dead.
because that would have been so. If you just edit that bit of him like with
Yeah, if you
actual
edit
live,
that
you
out.
take that out. That's
Yeah.
dark. Like they full on murdered a group
Yeah.
of people.
And just put a bit more like fire coming out of the windows when it goes off. Very dark film.
Yeah.
But yeah, really fun. And like the bit where he goes into that warehouse
Yeah,
and he
that was
starts
the other bit I was
fighting all the
thinking of.
Santas and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, very good.
Very funny.
Very, very
Phil
good.
Harmon's really funny in it as the guy, the neighbor.
Bill?
Something like that.
Phil?
Yeah. I mean, the actor's called Phil.
Phil. Maybe it's Bill. I'm not sure. Yeah.
He's so sleazy.
Like that was a really good like B story to have, I think,
Yeah.
to like supplement what was going on with the main story because like
these cookies are delicious.
Yeah.
Put the cookie down.
and it's like you know, he's like trying to win back his son, but he's also
Yeah.
having to win back his wife,
Yeah.
who at no point shows any interest in this other guy. It's just this threat
I
of
do-
him existing.
I do love the kind of comedy thing of like Arnie being really worried about it, but the whole time, like you said, like she shows no interest in him and
Yeah.
actively
And
rejects
yeah,
him.
exactly.
Like,
Like, she's actively like, get the
I do
fuck away from
think
me.
it's hilarious as well, the joke about all the other mums in the neighborhood love him and like
Yeah.
clearly are all sleeping with him or something. Like
They all want to.
yeah, this weird guy. Like
Yeah,
it's funny because he like gives off such Ned Flanders vibes.
but like
In a-
sleazy
Ned Flanders,
yeah.
but it's that I don't know, it's something really weird about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's very interesting, and also the little boy who played Anakin's very good in it. I think I can never remember his
Jake
name.
Lloyd.
Yes, Jake Lloyd. I think he's good
Good
in
name.
it. I like him.
Yeah, he's good.
I'm not gonna rise to the occasion.
Yeah, no, I really like him. He's like, you know, he
I
was
like
good
the
in
scene
Star
where he
Wars, was good in
talks
this.
about the toy because he sells how exciting it is.
Yeah,
Where he's like, "It's Turbo Man." He just starts like explaining it all and like doing the actions. And it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is the vibe. This is
Yeah.
what kids are like when you talk about a cool toy.
Anakin Skywalker and the Terminator. Talking about Turbo Man.
Yeah.
Very good.
Also love as Chris Parnell turns up in it for 2 seconds. The guy who plays Jerry in Rick and Morty.
Oh, right.
He's one of the shop guys who goes, "This guy wants a Turbo Man."
Oh, yeah.
He's one of those guys, which is a great scene. Oh, I also love the bit when Arnie chases that child. Like, he has the Red Bull.
Oh, yeah, he chases the ball.
He's like,
yeah.
well, don't you want this shiny green ball or whatever he says? And the
Yeah.
kid just like eats the ball.
Yeah.
It's so accurate.
And then he gets attacked by all the parents,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's good."
He's got my ball.
It's pretty non-stop as well.
100%.
Like
it
just keeps
escalates in a
going.
fun way.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy that film.
Yeah, very enjoyable. What's your number 2?
My number 2, and again, I feel like you can't have got this wrong. I'd be amazed if you did. My number 2 is Let It Snow.
Yeah,
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously.
Obviously, the other one's number 1.
yeah.
So I'm fascinated. I really thought you would think I would not like Let It Snow, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Okay.
I was like, I have like a couple of issues,
Uh-huh.
but generally speaking, like I thought it was really solid.
I'm happy that you liked it.
I'm a sucker for like a multi-narrative story. I
I
enjoy
love it.
that.
Yeah, I love that.
Big Love Actually vibes, obviously, with it.
Obviously.
I thought all the characters were good. Like, I liked them all, which is, like, obviously key to it. It's fascinating because there's, like, a Gen Z vibe to it, obviously. Because it's, like, a Netflix film that stars, like, loads of young people.
Yes. Were any of them famous? Sabrina the Teenage Witch is obviously
Sabrina
in
the
it.
Teenage Witch is in it. Obviously, you have Ned from Spider-Man.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The famous guy who I can't remember any of the characters' names now. The famous guy
I
who
feel like he
turns
was
up.
called Josh or something
Something
like
like that. Do you know who he is? You should.
Should I?
I think you should anyway. You won't recognize him.
This is a wild guess, but is he Miles Morales?
He is. He's Miles Morales in the Into the Spider-Verse movies. Shameik Moore. He's a great actor. He was in a really cool film called Dope years ago.
I've heard of Dope.
Dope's cool. It's
Yeah.
a fun film. Which has Flash Gordon from the new Spider-Man films in, funnily enough. Interestingly, one of the people in it was like the girl who the waitress is like, oh, I hooked up with her, and then she goes to talk to her, and she's like, oh,
Yeah, the cheerleader.
I don't know you. Are they cheerleaders? I couldn't remember
Yeah,
if
I
they
think
were dance or
they're
cheerleaders.
Yeah.
That actress is Anna Akana,
Mhm.
who is at one point was a YouTuber, and I believe is in the same social circle as Dom Farrow. Friends with him.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fun.
which is a fun little
Yeah.
link.
He's got a new film. At some point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think it's out yet, but it went to Buffer Film Festival.
Oh, I think I did hear about that, sorry.
Yeah.
And also, she was in Ant-Man in the end credits scene as one of the people who, you know, when Luis is going like, I talked to this person, talked to this person, talked to this
I
person.
do not.
She's one of the... Do you not remember that?
I did not watch it.
What, Ant-Man?
No, the end credits. I don't watch end credits anymore.
No, the old Ant-Man, like the first Ant-Man.
No, I didn't watch that.
You didn't watch that one?
Watched the film, but not the end credits. I don't watch end credits anymore.
What do you mean anymore? I'm talking about Ant-Man from like 2015. You didn't watch it then?
No.
What's wrong with you? That was the whole point.
That's what we go for those 30 seconds
Those
in the
30
credits.
seconds. You wanted to ask me a question about...
I did, yeah. I feel like there's only really one question here. The film is written by... Oh, sorry. The book that the film was based on
Yeah.
is written by 3 authors.
I know one of them.
That's the one I'm going to ask you about because I don't know who the other 2 are.
Interesting.
So the authors are Lauren Miracle,
Okay.
Maureen Johnson, and the one you know,
John Green. Yeah.
So I think in the film they actually added an extra plot line. So
I was
going to
say, because...
At least 4.
Hang on, so there's
Some of them
Sabrina
interconnect.
and the guy...
The Duke.
Pardon?
Sabrina's called the Duke.
The Duke?
Yeah, the Duke. That's her nickname.
Oh, it is. Sorry, I blanked on that for a second then. I thought you meant the guy was called the Duke, like Sabrina and the Duke, and I was like,
Angie and the Duke.
Angie and the Duke.
Tobin.
Tobin, that's it. Angie and Tobin. So that's obviously one of the storylines.
Indeed.
You then have the famous guy and that girl.
Indeed.
You then have the waitress and the girl.
Yeah.
And technically you have Ned from Spider-Man, which maybe that's the added thing. He's kind of like a plot on his own, but it's like
And
very
then there's
minute.
another one, right?
Oh, and then there's the stupid one with the girl.
Just the relationship between the friends, right?
Well, it's the girl on her phone, and she's like, "What's my boyfriend doing?"
Oh, and that's Santa. Santa's there in that one. That woman in the
Santa?
snow truck.
Oh,
She's
she's like
Santa.
Santa. Oh. Joan Cusack, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's
She's
in-
clearly Santa.
Is she?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, you know, like she's the like embodiment of Santa.
Oh yeah, she's
within
the
that
she's
film.
the magical person. In the
Yeah,
film. It's
that's
like-
what I mean when I say
Yeah.
the Santa.
Yeah, I didn't.
Obviously, like, there are films where Santa's actually in it, but
I
like,
didn't like that
there's, like, a
storyline. I think if
representation
anything,
of
that's
Santa.
definitely the added one.
Okay, which one was written by John Green?
I feel like it has to be the famous guy one, just because the mum's sick.
Was Stuart and Julie? I
Yeah.
want to say.
I guess.
I'm not sure.
The one where he's like, "I wish I could be normal for a day," and he offers her
Yeah.
money, and she gets mad at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, hang on. It shouldn't be, but is it the waitress one then?
No.
Oh, is it Tobin and Andrew?
Yeah, of course it is.
What do you mean? Of course it is.
That one's literally the most John Green story of all
There's
of them.
no one sick in it.
That is true. I can see where your mind went with
Yeah.
the sick mum thing, yeah. But that one, like the Duke character, like Manic Pixie Dream Girl, that's
I
just a John
guess
Green
so.
character.
I thought her character was quite well done in it.
No, I like her
Because
she has the
she's-
John Green vibe,
Okay, interesting. See, I haven't really watched it or read it.
and like Tobin, who's like like a pasty, skinny white kid.
Yeah, but also
like-
he's not, by the way. There's a bit where he's got his shirt off and he clearly has like a six pack, and he's like, "Oh, my nipple hair!" And I'm like,
Yeah.
"You fucking pussy!" Like,
But like, yeah, like they're always like a loser.
yeah, but he's not. That's stupid. I actually did enjoy that storyline for the most part. I thought that was.
Yeah.
I thought all the
I
storylines were
enjoyed
good.
pretty much all of them. Yeah.
I think my only okay, so my main issues were in the Tobin one. There's like the moment where the two bully guys turn up, the guys who went to prison or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was a really fun addition. I didn't anticipate them doing anything like that. And they're like, "That's our keg," and he's like, "Yeah, well," and then he just starts saying all this stuff. And the resolution is that they're like, "This guy's crazy. Let's go
Oh,
drink
yeah.
a beer." And I'm like, what? That was stupid. Like, if you're not
Yeah.
going to conclude that properly, don't include it.
Right.
Like, it was stupid to me.
Yeah.
And it didn't show any growth to Tobin, really. Like, because he didn't stand up to them, really.
No.
Like, I don't know, it was silly.
Yeah.
The waitress one, my issue is that, like, I get what they were going for. I think the moment that she goes up and she's like, "Oh, hey, you didn't call me or whatever," and she's like, "I don't know you," or whatever she says, and she's like, "Oh," and she's obviously upset. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Then there's a moment after that, which I don't think they interact between that bit and this next bit. But then there's a bit where she's in the bathroom, and that character, Anna Connell's character, comes up to her and she like kisses her, I believe, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, I've like not stopped thinking about you," and all this stuff. And then as soon as the other dancer girl comes in, she like stops and then like leaves. And then like after that, the waitress character again comes up to the table with like, "Oh, I made you this," and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, whatever." I'm like, take a hint. There's clearly she doesn't want her friends to know about this.
Yeah.
You can be upset about that and you can talk to her about that, but have some respect at least to be like, "Okay, well, I guess I'm just not going to interact with you right now." And then after that, the character's like, "You know, the problem is I actually never came out." She's like, "But you said," and she's like, "Yeah." It's like, you didn't guess she hadn't come out when she was not wanting you to confront her in front of her friends and shit. That's clearly what's going on. It was just stupid to me. I was like,
Right,
this is so
yeah.
obviously what's happening.
Yeah.
And this character was not picking up any signals about it for some reason. That was my only issue with it. I thought the heart of it's right, and I liked the characters a lot. I thought her character especially was cool, the waitress. But I
Yeah.
thought that was so stupid that like it just felt like it dragged out because the character didn't pick up on what was obviously going on.
Yeah. I've not watched the late episode this year, and you're making me want to watch it now.
It's worth watching. I think it's
Yeah,
fun.
I think it's a good film.
And the rich storyline was fun. I really liked those characters, and their dynamics was really like sweet and like I think worked. I thought the moment that she gets really, really mad about him offering money was kind of stupid. Like, I get it to an extent. It did really get me when the mum talked to her.
Yeah.
That seems really good, like really well written. And like the bit where the mum says like, "I'm sorry if I've never said this to you." Like, I'm sorry if I've never made this clear, but life's for living, essentially, I think is the line. I'm basically saying, like, I don't want you to stay here because of me or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fine. I'm going to figure this out for myself. I've got, like, your granddad. You need to live your life. I just thought that was such a beautiful scene.
Yeah,
and,
I really like the scene where they're like all dancing as well.
Oh, so cute.
It's
like,
so good.
So good. But yeah, I thought the conflict was a little bit forced in that one. But it's still my favourite story out of all of them.
Yeah, I really like that one.
And I hate the girl on her phone. I thought that was stupid. The entire time I was just like, this is dumb. And it was the fact that like her whole thing is she's like, where is my boyfriend? And he hasn't liked any of my posts. He's hanging out with this other girl. And she catches up with him. And I'm going to say there's some casting bias to this because the guy who plays a boyfriend, I struggled. It took me a while to figure out who he was. He's in the Scream movies, the newer ones, as a character called Chad. And he's such a good character. He's like this really lovely. He's like a himbo, essentially. You know, like, he's a really lovely guy. And like, so I think there's some casting bias in my head because you barely meet him in the film. And I'm just like, that's Chad. But she turns up and she's like, you haven't answered my thing or anything. And Basie's character's just like, yeah, you're a fucking psycho. Leave me alone. Like, and she's like, oh. And I'm like, yeah, I don't feel sorry for you at all. You are a psycho in this scene. Like,
yeah, I think I remember feeling that as well. And feeling like that was meant to be the point.
Yeah, but it
then
doesn't mean it's good.
It afterwards.
Yeah, because then she meets the Joan Cusack's character, Santa bitch. I don't know why I said that. That was really weird. I like her in it. And like, she's like, yeah, I'm never on any phones. And I'm, look at me, doing great. Driving around in my foil suit and everyone talking about me. It's like, okay, maybe stay on your phone, but like, just not as much.
Yeah, I feel like there is a moral there and they kind of lost it a bit.
100%. It just feels like a really stupid story. I didn't like it.
I don't mind it. I think it has a place if it had good execution.
Like you said, if they've added a story on, I think it's very clearly that one.
I don't think it is that one.
What one do you think?
I think it's the gay one.
You think it's the waitress one?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I mean, both of them would make sense.
Let me just read a quick... So, the Duke and Tobin, that is...
100%.
I think they cut this one entirely.
What?
The story follows teenager Jubilee Dougal living in Richmond, Virginia.
Jubilee Dougal?
She has been forced to spend Christmas Eve away from her boyfriend Noah and with her grandparents after her parents are arrested for participating in a riot over a cult-like set of miniature decorative houses, which is included.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's something about that, isn't there?
It's the dying mum collects them.
Yeah.
The Floby Santa Village, with one of the pieces being her namesake, Jubilee Hall. While on the train ride to her grandparents' place... Oh, so it is this one. The Jubilee Express is the one where she meets the famous person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that one is in the book.
Nice.
And then the last one is the patron saint of pigs. Follows Addie, who's depressed because she broke up with her boyfriend Jeb. Addie kept trying to change Jeb, infuriating, fighting. Got drunk. She kissed someone else. Broke up with Jeb. This one got cut entirely. I think.
I was going to say.
And then they made up the others.
What? So the book's barely been adapted.
Yeah, they cut quite a lot.
They did John Green's book. Yeah. And they were like, we'll add some shit. What?
Yeah, so they changed quite a lot.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think last time I watched this film, I properly read all of those synopses and I was like, I don't understand what the decision was to change them.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because there's a thing that like, obviously they all end up in the Waffle House at the end. Yeah. That's like the point. But in the book, I think they end up in a coffee shop, so like similar thing.
Yeah.
But they're all interconnected with each other. All the stories are connected in some way.
Yeah.
And it's like...
I liked how they connected them in the film. I like how they like vaguely connected in the sense that the characters know each other. Yeah. I really like that kind of storytelling. I like the fact that like Tobin's character's calling Ned. Like, I don't know what the actor or the character's name is in the film, but Ned. I like that he's calling him throughout, and like... that roots them in the same world, even though their stories don't really cross over at all. Yeah, I thought that was fun.
No, I'm always a sucker for that type of story.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, I love it.
But yeah, I was really shocked at how much I enjoyed it, and like straight after watching it, I told Ella, my flatmate, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. You should watch this. This is a fun film." But yeah, I was shocked about that. Yeah. I'm really shocked that you thought it was up there. Yeah, I'm really surprised you thought that I like Nativity. Yeah. I would like to see less.
I've got 4 out of 4 of yours.
I mean,
I think you've probably got the same.
I'm curious because I think the next one could be a massive bait and switch.
I don't think so. I think you've got it. My number 2 is Gremlins.
I have got it. Yes! I knew it!
I very nearly switched Jingle All the Way and Gremlins, though.
Fascinating. Yeah, that's not what I would have guessed.
Yeah.
The only 2 I swapped were Christmas Vacation, Jingle All the Way.
Okay.
I thought you were going to have them maybe the other way around, but then I really thought about it and I thought you were going to hate Christmas Vacation.
Correct. Yeah. I did.
Gremlins.
is interesting.
Yeah.
I put it at number 2 because I find it incredibly enjoyable
It's
to
great
watch.
Film, great film.
However,
Not really a Christmas film.
it's not a Christmas film
No.
in any way.
I mean, it takes place at
I
Christmas.
forgot it was taking place at Christmas. There is right. I genuinely I sat down and I thought about this for a long time. Right, there are only 2 genuine reasons why this has to be set at Christmas,
It's a
and
present.
one of them doesn't matter. It's a present.
Yep.
It can be any kind of like it can be a birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be Christmas. And the fact that her dad died in the chimney dressed up as
Don't.
Santa.
I always forget about the scene until I watch the film and then I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ugh, why is that here?
Cut that scene.
100%.
Cut that scene.
There's no
And
need
then
for it.
it doesn't need to be set at Christmas. It is not a Christmas film. It just insane to me. Something I liked, which I think is I don't know if this is like because it's an old film, so it's well written, or like it's just well written in general. The first act is so tight.
Yeah.
I think it sets up so much in such a short
100%.
amount of time, and consequently does fucking nothing with it. But it sets it up so well.
In
Like,
what way do you mean does nothing with them?
so you set up that the dad is away all the time,
Yeah.
and he's an inventor, he's an aspiring inventor, and
Love
he's
his
not really
toothpaste thing he has.
getting anywhere with it.
Yeah.
With his with like bathroom buddy.
I
it's
think
called.
that's what it's called, yeah.
It sets up that horrible landlady.
Yeah.
Who's I feel like is meant to be It's a
100%.
Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Guy. It sets up that the main character is against ripping people off for money.
Makes you like him.
And he's a bit
And he
of
has a
like
dog.
a humanitarian kind of
100%.
like guy.
There's his dog he
and-
brings to work.
Yeah. And then the girl who works there as well
Mhm.
is obviously into him
Yeah.
and like
Phoebe Cates.
agrees with all of his stuff and is potentially a bit more involved than he is.
Yeah.
It kind of sets up that the mum is just like stay at home and stuff. She's not really a character.
Yeah, she's
although she has
barely
one of the
in
best scenes.
She does.
Yeah, like all of this stuff, and then it sets up like the Gremlin
Yeah.
and like
Mogwai.
Gizmo.
Yeah. Love Gizmo.
Quick side note: when we were living over the road,
You had a Mogwai.
yeah, no, the neighbor had 2 dogs, and they were called Gizmo and Milky Joe.
That's very good.
Yeah, Milky
yeah.
Joe being after the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cute.
Very cute.
Anyway, yeah, I feel like the first act is really, really solid, and it
Yeah.
sets up so much stuff, and you're like, I'm rooting for them to get over this evil lady who's like evicting loads of people.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for Gizmo to win,
Yeah.
essentially stay alive and get rid of all the gremlins.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the dad to have a good invention.
Mhm.
All of this stuff. They kill the landlady within like 30 seconds of
In
the
a
gremlins
great
getting
way,
out.
though.
Incredible. I
The-
loved
the
it.
stair
But it's like,
lift,
okay, I
like-
guess we're doing nothing with this storyline anymore.
So funny. But
like,
that's the thing, they're chaos. They're chaos elements. They just
I
like the
know,
film
yeah.
goes to shit because they're there.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what is the film now? It's just them being chaotic. And I love that.
It's just
Looney Tunes
insane.
energy.
the dad just like stays away for the whole film. You get a couple of scenes of him like trying to sell
It's so
ashtrays
funny
and
how
stuff.
he's not in the film.
And then like there's the really cool scene where he's on the phone and you see the time machine in the background, and then it cuts back and the time machine's
I
gone.
forgot about that, yeah. That's
really
great.
good. And then there's the robot from another film that I've forgotten.
Is it Flubber?
No, I don't think it's Flubber. It's like a big robot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. This
I
is at the
can't
convention,
remember.
isn't it?
It is at the convention. I can't
So I'm
remember
just
what it's
looking up
from.
something quick.
But then he just comes back, and the only reason he comes back is because he has the dog, and the dog comes and saves the main character.
Yes.
That's the only reason. And then he's just like standing there whilst the finale's happening. He's just like, I'm here.
What did you think about the evil little Mogwais before they turn into gremlins?
Oh yeah, they're
Because
great.
he multiplies and then obviously
Yes,
they're all
yeah.
assholes.
And then they eat after midnight.
Yeah.
Stripe.
Straight well shit.
Yeah.
The also terrifying at the end,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
when he like melts, and then he's like,
Yes.
oh, it's like
Yeah.
this guy. That's
And it's like,
terrifying.
and it's also like he's still trying to replicate because he's
Yeah,
in
'cause
water,
he just-
but he's
oh,
dying at the same
so
time.
good.
Yeah.
The first bit when he jumps in the pool at the
Oh,
beginning
so
as well,
good.
so good.
Yeah.
Also, Corey Feldman in it, little Corey Feldman. I believe it's him in it. You know, he's in
Who's
like
he?
Goonies and everything. He's that
Right.
kid who's in like loads of stuff.
What's he in? Who's he in this? The
He's the
other kid.
Yeah, he's the kid who's friends with.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Corey Feldman. Him.
Right.
Yeah, he's in loads of stuff. He was in Goonies, Lost Boys. He played Donatello in the TMNT movie, like the voice of him.
Oh, did he?
In the 90s one, which is one of
that's
my favorite
fun.
films. But yeah, I love him in it.
I think like all the puppet work
Oh,
and effects
so
and stuff,
good.
so like I again I'm just a sucker for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like it came out at least 10 years after like Star Wars
Yeah.
and I think the Dark Crystal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bit late to the party, but I really love it.
I
It's
think
like,
it's
you know,
fucking great.
all the
The-
puppet work is incredible.
Did you spot Jonathan Banks in it?
No.
Mike from Breaking Bad / the guy from he's in season 5 I think, or season 4, season 5 of Community. Hickey,
Oh,
he's in it.
is he?
Yeah, because I remember rewatching it recently and I was like, oh shit,
For a second there, when you said Mike from Breaking Bad,
yeah.
I heard that as Mike from Stranger Things, and I was
Amazing.
like, he
Yeah,
wasn't
did you
born
spot
yet.
him in it? No, there's a scan of him.
Who does he play? Is he the police?
He's one of the policemen.
Yeah, they're the
When you
only
know
other
it's him,
characters.
you recognize him, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Also, I love the guy who drives the snowplow.
Oh, yeah.
And fun fact, even though you see, obviously, because they drive the snowplow into his house, don't they?
Oh,
Him and his
yeah.
wife, which is really dark.
Yeah.
He's in the second film.
Is he?
Yeah, he's alive. So
Okay.
whatever happened, he survived
Oh.
that.
I
That's,
really do want to watch.
That's Jonathan Banks there.
Yeah.
That cop.
It does look like him.
It's weird.
Yeah, he looks very different.
Oh, he looks very different.
Yeah, that was my big takeaways. That like
Yeah.
Act 1 is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Act 2 and 3 don't follow Act 1 in any way, but are still
Yeah.
incredible in their own right because the Gremlins are just
They're
insane.
so good.
The scene, the really great horror scene of the mum home alone with the 5 gremlins,
And then she,
and
does
she
the
like
blend of
blitzes
it.
them and
Oh,
stuff.
So
Because
good.
like the other thing that they set up in Act 1.
Yeah.
Yes, the dad is an inventor, but he has all of the inventions in the house,
Yeah.
and they all break all the time.
Yeah.
Setting up the fact that they're gonna kill a fucking load of gremlins.
Yeah, with the
them,
machines.
which they kind of don't do.
You're right,
because
yeah.
they only do it with the mum, which is a great
Yeah.
scene. I think it's one of the best scenes in the
I know what you
film.
mean, though.
But like, it's the first thing that happens, and then it's like, okay, we're
we've
not
done that now.
We're done. Yeah, we're
Tick,
done with that.
tick.
And now we're gonna blow up a cinema instead.
I do love them all watching Snow White.
Yeah, that's very
Hey-ho.
good.
They just love it. The Flasher
So
Gremlin
good.
in the bar.
Oh yeah.
Just where Flasher goes, where'd he get a mini coat?
Yeah.
Like, I love this weird world where they all they're just Looney Tunes. They all somehow have clothes that are made for them.
And
it's
there's
like,
one
where'd
that's
they
like
get
drunk
them?
and stuff.
Yeah, and it's like what?
Also, he's drinking, so he's gonna be reproducing like gremlins,
That's a
but
really good
they're just
point.
not.
It's really
I
funny.
also love the very first time you go into that bar,
Yeah.
and the girl who's interested in the main character,
yeah, her serving them.
and she like looks so panicked, and,
Yeah.
and then she kind of is like, "Wait, what am I doing?" And it's like, "Yeah, what are you doing?
What am I doing? My dad died in a chimney.
Oh yeah, I forgot to
God,
talk
what a
about that.
horrible story.
She like,
Why did she bring it up?
because she's like, "Oh yeah, I hate. This is just another reason to hate Christmas."
And he's
I was
like,
going to bring this up for the
why?
nativity thing that you were talking
Oh.
about. And he's like, "Oh, why?" It's because my dad died in a chimney dressed as Santa.
she,
It's like,
she goes on
okay.
for so long, that story, and it's so
And it also,
dark.
it has no payoff. There is
No.
no point to her saying that.
It's so stupid. I love it.
Uh,
It's like, but it's so pointless and redundant.
it is.
Like, there's no reason for her to talk about this.
No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
But she did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does have that, like, 80s problem of the women in the film not really being characters.
Yeah,
Which, like, I feel like they kind of, like, they nearly got it with the girlfriend character,
yeah.
but
With Phoebe
not
Cates, she's
quite.
almost And it's also funny because I feel like Phoebe Cates was the more famous person at the time out of her
really?
and Zach Galligan. I think his name is the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain she was more famous at that point.
Mm.
It's fascinating. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is, yeah.
Classic film, and the second one's great as well.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch the second one now.
The second one's so
Um,
good. It's not a Christmas film. But it's
No.
so good.
But yeah, overall, I mean, it's second. I really liked it.
It's great.
It's a good film. I do have some problems with it, but it's Gremlins, man.
Yeah,
What can you
it's
say?
Gremlins,
It's
man.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Right, you're number one.
You want to ask me what it is?
Alex, why is Klaus your number one
It'd be
film?
so funny if it wasn't. I'm like, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Okay, so I watched Klaus today.
Okay.
I saved it till last
Yeah.
because my old flatmate Ben used to talk about Klaus all the time.
Yeah.
For years he's been telling since it came out. Because he watched it when it
2019.
came out. Yeah. He's
I
been
watched it
telling
when it
me
came
to
out as
watch
well.
it, and I just hadn't.
Mm.
It's one of those things. It's like no good reason not to. Like I kind of knew in my heart. I was like, I feel like I'm gonna really like this. I just
Yeah.
never had. Watched
You have
it.
a weird thing about animation, don't you?
I do, but this wasn't one of those things. I don't know. I just hadn't watched it. It was just
Yeah.
I'd never been in the mood, or like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
opportunity didn't arise. So I was like, I'm going to save this one till last. I'm 90% sure this is going to be the one I really like. And if I don't like it, then I definitely want to go in with like an immediate like.
Fresh thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so bloody lovely.
Isn't it?
I full on cried at the end.
At the end.
The ending really made me cry.
Yeah.
I welled up multiple times in it, but
Mhm.
the ending crushed me.
Do you want to guess at what point I cry? And also, side note, this is the only film, not even just Christmas film, the only film that reliably makes me cry.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's one of the bits that really got me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the bit where he tries to make a toy for the little girl?
It's that whole sequence.
That sequence, yeah.
The bit that actually
Oh.
gets me is when the girl is skating around on it and they're just watching and all the music's going and stuff. Yeah, that's the bit that makes me cry.
From the beginning of the film, I loved it. Like the
Mhm.
opening bit with the academy, whatever you want to call it, of post workers, and then introducing his character. Jason Schwartzman was incredible.
Yeah.
Amazing voice cast in this film.
Oh, so good.
And I was like, oh wow, like this is great. Like just looking at it, the not just the animation style, but like the world style in terms of
Yeah.
the kind of, they don't really clarify when it takes place, but the
Mhm.
idea of it almost being like kind of 1800s-y.
Yeah, it's
like,
old timey
yeah.
kind of vibes. Because there's no like phones or nothing like that.
No.
Electricity.
And I think it's just, it looks so cool and it works so well, and it felt like watching an old Disney film in the best way.
Mhm.
And then it kind of, early on, I was like, oh, this is kind of Emperor's New Groove, like, just with his character being an asshole and, like, super, like, up his own ass. And then it dawned on me once getting through the film, I was like, oh, they've just made a new Scrooge. But in, like, when I say new Scrooge, I just mean, like, his character arc is that of Scrooge's, which is he has to learn to be
Yeah.
selfless. But it's not Scrooge. They're not telling the story of Scrooge
No.
or anything. They're doing the complete own story.
Yeah.
It's just capturing that essence.
Yeah,
of like,
I can see that.
It's a
yeah.
Christmas story about somebody who's having to learn to be selfless,
Mhm.
and like that, like learning there's more to life, and like figuring that stuff out.
Learning how to love.
100%.
yeah.
And I think I didn't know really what this film was about.
Mhm.
Like I knew about the fact it was about the letters and everything.
Yep.
And I knew about
Yeah, because when I talk about this film, all I ever say is like, oh, it's about Postman.
yeah, because I think,
Yeah.
and that's fine because I think even that is a good hook.
Yeah.
The slow reveal of me realizing this is the story of Santa being created.
So good.
Oh my god, like, and it really got me. It was the moment where Klaus threw him through the chimney. Or he did the thing, he steps on the panel and it throws him up and he
Yeah.
goes through the chimney. And it was when that happened, I was like, oh my god, it's his Santa. And then he drops the present and the bit where the kid opens the present. And it's the little frog.
Yeah.
And the animation is gorgeous. And it's him looking at the frog. And he turns it and it starts hopping around. And the joy. And then just him. And then Klaus making him watch as well.
He's like
And
just
the
watching
two
at the
of
window,
them-
isn't he?
Yeah, and he holds Jesper. He
Yeah.
holds Jesper there and the two of them watch. And the fact that Jesper doesn't get the feeling at that point.
Yeah.
But you're watching Klaus get the feeling. And then it pays off with obviously the bit you were talking about.
Yeah.
When then we see Jesper get that feeling.
Yeah.
And again, the moment for me was in that bit where he's trying to make the toy. Like he can't make
yeah.
it, but the fact that
He's trying.
he tries to make that
Yeah.
toy for that little girl, and oh my god, it's so sweet. It's so fucking funny. It took me so I only had to look at one person in the film. Everyone else, I was like, oh, I recognize all these voices.
Okay.
Joan Cusack also is two of these films, which I think is fascinating. Playing very different characters. The boat captain, I was like, the ferryman.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I really recognise the
Oh,
voice.
you're
I had no
starting to
idea
connect the
who he
dots.
is. And I looked it up, and it's Norm Macdonald, who sadly passed away like last year. Norm Macdonald was like big on SNL, and like
Right.
he's a stand-up comedian. He's famously dry. Like he's so dry-witted. His jokes are always just him kind of saying something and then just looking.
Right.
And it being funny because he said it. It could not be a joke and it's funny.
Right.
And his character is so perfect for him. Like it's so exactly him.
Okay.
Like
yeah.
it's just perfect vibe. Seeing the small breadcrumbs as to it becoming the story of Santa was
Yeah, and like
fascinating.
the coal in the stocking.
Oh, so
Yeah.
good. And then him coming up with a naughty list idea. I
Yeah.
do love this thing of like all the kind of stuff that you could be like, that's kind of weird and like about Santa all comes from Jesper.
Yeah.
Like all the nice stuff is from Klaus.
Yeah.
All the weird stuff it's
Yeah.
like he has a naughty list and he puts coal in your stocking. That's all Jesper.
Yeah, and the reindeers and the fact that they fly.
The flying bit's so
Oh.
sweet when they go off the thing and then the kid sees.
Yeah.
Also, when the little girl turns up, who I don't know how you'd say it. Is it like she's?
Inuit.
I was just about to say, is it
Yeah.
an Inuit?
Yeah,
Okay,
she's
like a
meant to be Inuit.
Eskimo, quote unquote. I think.
No, Inuit.
Yeah, Inuit. But I'm saying like.
Eskimo is apparent. I think Eskimo is actually like derogatory.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that typical term.
Yeah.
In the same way that people would say like Indian when it's Native American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured she was an Inuit or something like that.
Yeah.
And like obviously her speaking another language, which was interesting. But when she turned up the first time, I was like, yo, is she gonna be an elf? Is this gonna be how the elves exist? And then
They kind of are.
well,
in a
no,
way.
they 100%
Yeah.
are. Because then what happens is she then obviously has the bit where she just writes a letter to Santa, and the big payoff is that he makes the toy in that
so
whole
good.
sequence. So like, I was
This-
like, oh, okay, she's not an elf. This is just a payoff in this way. And then it becomes that they are the elves, and they
Yeah.
will turn up, and I was like, oh shit, they're the
Yeah.
elves because they're all colourful, like their costumes,
And they come up with the
the
red,
red,
Santa.
which is really cute.
That scene, that whole sequence of like the moment that Jasper decides to help the little kid
Yeah.
to when he's watching her on the skate, like it has
Yeah.
so much payoff in that small
It's
space
insane.
of time.
I hate the song.
Oh really?
Multiple times the film used modern music. I wish it never did.
Oh really?
I have that's a problem with a lot of movies that I don't like. This
I don't mind the song.
I don't like it.
And I very strongly associate that song now with that section in the film.
Yeah, I don't like
So
the
as
song.
soon as I hear the music, I'm like, oh man, that moment is
Fair.
coming.
It's the fucking. There's so much. The little
There
girl
is.
stabbing the snowman with the carrot.
Oh yeah, really.
And then her in like the mist
Yeah.
later on where she just walks through, and then the payoff of her at the top of the
Yeah.
snowman smiling, putting it in the nose the right way
Yeah.
around. Amazing.
Yeah, all of the little
All the
payoffs
kids
of,
are
like,
so funny.
I think obviously like the story is all happening, but like
Mm.
the background story is so good as well.
100%.
Like the very first time he's walking through through the town, and there's a bunch of people carrying a body bag.
just
There's
so
the bit
dark.
where the bit where they're all playing their musical instruments
Yeah.
just to piss people off.
Yeah.
The bit where they like pour dirt over the clean laundry.
Dropping plants onto people.
Yeah,
and then,
just like
later
all this
on it
horrible
throws up.
stuff, and then like
Seeing
yeah,
all
and
that
then
stuff reversed.
seeing it all reversed, and the kids doing nice stuff, and like I think the one that like really gets me is where the dad of the horrible house he
Makes
rips
the
down
little plaything.
the fence and turns
That
it into
really
a
got
play
me.
bit, and I was like, oh, the adults are on board now as
But
well.
that's the thing, I think it's fascinating, this idea of like the future generation being the one to heal the wound and like
Yeah.
to show that like we don't need to keep doing that. I think it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And it is that thing of the heart of the film, which is that thing that he says, which is the one one good thing.
One small act of kindness always sparks another,
Yeah, exactly. And they're so beautiful, and I love the fact that Jesper without
or a truly
noticing
selfless act.
that's
yeah.
it. Jesper without noticing is doing that, and he's making the town a better place.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing about the kids going to the school, and then like
Yeah, and the
her
bit where
teaching them,
I forgot what her name is.
well, the teacher character.
Rashida Jones.
Yeah,
is
I
like-
can't remember her name either.
Where she's like, "Oh man, you don't know what you've done."
Yeah,
That moment where
just to go
he's
and
like,
show him.
"Yeah,
Yeah, I love that as well. I love her. Yeah, the slow change of Jesper's character as well, where he is an asshole, and
Yeah.
slowly he's in it for the right reason.
yeah." I love that. I love that as a story. I feel like it's like really relatable
100%.
in like learning to like just love something, like not even just like romantic kind of
Yeah,
people,
no,
but
it's
like
just like
the place and
Yeah.
the things that you're doing and like the impact that you have on the people around you.
100%.
I feel like it just hits every single point
Yeah.
so well.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ending. So obviously all the kids open their toys, which got me. I was like, I was welling up at that. And then it jumps forward in time.
Oh.
And I also love the fact that the dad has this like resolution with him as well, where you don't see it, but then when he says like, I just told him, and he said he was proud of me and hugged me, and I thought he was going to be angry, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Like,
Yeah.
and I love that his dad actually.
Just like I feel like that's all his dad wanted.
Yeah,
for
no,
him.
100% from the
Yeah.
beginning. That's the only reason he did it. I do feel like it was a weird thing to do because it was like, let's say you did literally the worst place.
Yeah.
And have you deliver mail where they don't ever do mail. And it's like,
Yeah.
what was the plan? Do you want him to just end up in the gutter? There was no way he was going to do this. This is a miracle this happened. Like,
Yeah.
and it was through bad means. Like, it started as a negative thing. It was the bit when then he says, like, how it started... As soon as it started progressing through time, when it was, like, every year, I would, like... And then you see him get older, and that immediately I started tearing up.
Yeah.
And then... when
bit-
it got
the
to the
wind.
bit with the wind,
I love the
I love the
wind.
reveal of the wind as well. That really got me as well when he talks about his wife and like
Yeah.
how they have all the space was for the kids.
Oh man.
What a reveal! And then like them showing all the elves and stuff being put into
Yeah.
that. That's
So
genius.
beautiful.
But the bit where he like I knew exactly like it's one of those things where it's funny because it's obvious but it's perfect.
Yeah.
In that like
It's kind of- I
obvious
think
for the
it's
right
that, like,
reasons.
when you realize what's happening
Yeah.
moment. Because you don't know it's coming, but then as soon as you see certain
Like so,
tells,
as soon
you're
as I saw him growing
I
older,
know
I
what's
was like,
happening.
oh, I know what's gonna happen
Yeah.
now. And then
And it makes you sad
Oh.
just by knowing what's going to happen. And then it
100%.
makes you even more sad when it happens.
I got a full on like lip shake. The bit where he like,
He just says, I'm coming, love.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the bit after that where it's like him knocking on the door and he's not there,
Oh.
and then him saying that like he just went missing, like he didn't find a body or anything,
Yeah.
and then him tucking his kids in,
Yeah.
which was again also beautiful, and then the fucking payoff of the film, which I wasn't, because I then thought in my head I was like, oh, is it going to be that he just carries on being Santa Claus,
Yeah.
like, and then the reveal that like no, he's like Claus has, I don't know, become this mythical being, Santa
Yeah,
Claus, and
He's
exists in this.
ascended.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a
Yeah.
god, I guess, or something.
Yeah.
And like, but and like, I love the fact he doesn't try and explain it. It's
No,
just
it doesn't
like
need to. He's
no,
like,
and he's
because he
just like,
says, he's like,
every
I don't
I see
understand
my
it.
I get to see my friend once a year, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
every
you
year, just for one night.
bastards!
I get
Like
to see my friend.
that killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking loved it. Beautiful, beautiful film. And I think
Yeah.
what's fascinating about your list,
Mhm.
Jake, is that
The variance.
it's such a bad list. But you do have the best film.
Yeah.
Klaus is the best film out of all of them. I don't know if I could say that I would watch this every Christmas.
No.
I don't think it falls into the category of film I want to watch at Christmas.
Mhm.
But I do think it's technically the best film out of all the Christmas films we've talked about.
Yeah.
Including your list and mine, like smashed together.
Yeah.
I think Klaus is easily the best film.
Easily.
Easily.
Easily
It's
for
fucking
me,
astounding.
Yeah.
Pisses me off it's on Netflix because you can't get it on Blu-ray or anything.
I know. It sucks,
But-
doesn't it?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Still exists.
Oh, just an outstandingly incredible
Beautiful,
film.
beautiful film.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Jake, what's your number one film at Christmas on my list?
My number one film at Christmas on your list is Jack Frost.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love Jack Frost.
Yeah. Did you? How quickly did you decide that Jack Frost was going to be my favorite?
Not very quickly. It took me a minute. There was a part of me that thought Gremlins was going to be,
Mm-hmm.
purely because it's like, I think maybe technically the best film, like in terms of being a film, not a Christmas film, but as a film.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it's a classic. It's Gremlins.
Yeah.
So there was a part of me that thought it was going to be up there for that. But then I really thought about it, and I thought, I think if you're ranking it the way I think you're ranking it, I don't think Gremlins is going to be number one.
No.
And the more I thought about it, I was like, I think Jack Frost is a bit your cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like, it's your vibe. Like, I think you'd
yeah.
like it. And I think Jack Frost is fucking great. I think
Yeah.
it's genuinely such a good film.
No, I really enjoyed it
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, it was really, really good. I guess the one bad thing you could say, which I really don't think it's a bad,
Yeah.
is the snowman looks a bit
Oh, he
goofy.
looks awful.
But I quite like it in a way.
The
Like, I
CGI
like that
bits
it's
are
goofy.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks fucking awful.
Yeah.
But I really like
When he's
that.
a suit and he's just like, he's so clearly a guy in this big suit just moving around. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
It's so funny. It's just really good. It's
Yeah.
like, it's very heartfelt.
100%.
It hits a lot of the right stuff,
Mhm.
a lot of the right notes. I think it's interesting because Act 1 of this film is incredibly long.
So long.
It's
it takes so
so
long for them
long.
to kill him off.
But then it's like, I don't know how else you do it.
no, because it
'Cause
pays
it's
off so well.
You need to set up so much stuff.
Mhm.
You need to set up that the kid is like
Cool.
really high achieving, he's
Yeah.
cool, he's got a lot of friends, he's got a lot going on for him.
Yeah.
You got to set up that the dad is in a band,
Yeah.
the band is struggling,
Yeah.
and any break is a good break.
Mhm.
You've got to set up the dynamic between the dad and the son,
Yeah.
and that the son is really disappointed that the dad's never around.
Yeah.
Um,
But also, it's really interesting because it's really not unhealthy.
no,
Like they discuss
they're very
it.
honest about it.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
really beautifully written. Like they genuinely chat about it, and he's like,
yeah.
dude, if you don't want me to do this, I won't."
And like when they say "I love you" and stuff, you genuinely you're like, I believe you.
100% believe
I
it.
believe that you love each
Michael
other.
Keaton's so good in that film.
Oh, he's
the
so
kid
good.
is also amazing. I don't think I've seen him really in anything else, but he's so good.
He's also basically just George Michael in the bit where he's alive. There's a bit where he's like wearing like a tank top with the sleeves ripped off, and he's got like the beard and like the short hair and the
yeah.
earring in his ear and stuff, and you're like, you're just George Michael.
He's George Michael.
Yeah, he's not got
Yeah.
the hair
No.
exactly the same, but like you're
Pretty
like
much
you're
George
George
Michael.
Michael, which I thought was funny. It's just very, very good. And
Yeah.
then the dad. I think the editing around the dad dying was a bit
Oh, it's
weird.
really weird. Like, it's where you can't see, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, but then like he goes over the thing, and then you cut away to something. I think you maybe go straight to the kid in the cabin.
yeah,
They're waiting for him, and then you just cut, and then it's like 1 year later, and it's a bit jarring
yeah,
in a way. Like I think it's more the timing
Yeah.
and like the feel of it was just slightly off.
Mm.
There's nothing particularly bad about it.
No,
It
no, no.
just
I know
felt
what you mean.
slightly
mate.
off.
Yeah,
I loved the like playing the harmonica brought him back. I really liked he gave the harmonica back to the dad before he died, and he really regretted that.
so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's like, I'm sorry I gave it back to him. He's like, that's all right, kid. It's fine.
yeah.
I get it,
I love the way they paint their relationship as well after he comes
Yeah.
back. Like,
Yeah.
it's not immediately like, oh my god, you're my dad and you're back. It's like really standoffish and like weird, and they don't have a father-son relationship again at first
No.
because he doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
And then it's when he slowly figures out it is his dad, and then it becomes like a whole different thing.
Yeah. I think there's some stuff that felt odd.
Mm.
I completely get and understand why they did the things they did.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is the relationship with the wife.
Mm.
And it's just like, oh no, she can't see me like this, which means that she's not in the film.
Yeah, which
but
sucks.
it's because they want to focus on the father-son
Yeah, yeah,
thing,
yeah.
which I get. But it felt so weird to just be like, she's not in the film.
And they kind of, at the end, they kind of have a thing, right?
But
'Cause,
like, not like, you know what I mean? She gets like 30 seconds to be like, oh, I love you.
yeah, I didn't like the whole thing where he comes back as like a human ghost at the end for a second. That was weird.
I didn't mind it.
I thought it's weird to complain about something being weird in a film where a guy comes back as a snowman.
Yeah.
But like, that was
a guy
weird.
in a snowman suit.
Sorry, yeah, he comes back as a guy in a snowman suit. I love the weird CGI bit where he's melting when he's trying to get across the
Yeah.
hot tarmac, which is also a great sequence.
When he's like slipping across
yeah,
on
because
his
he
back.
just wants to see him play.
Yeah, and he
once,
makes it.
and he does, and he sees him, and it's great.
Yeah, I like that.
I also love the. I think I mentioned this when we talked about it last time, but the whole after the jump, like you said, the beginning sets up so much, and then I think the genius of like the year jump, and then it shows the
The
bit
same
at
stuff.
the school again.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same thing, but like you just get immediately where he's at because
It's
of
like poetry.
how he's acting. It
Rhymes.
repeats itself, whatever.
No, it rhymes.
Fuck off, George Lucas.
No, yeah, I like it when films do stuff like that. When they
Yeah, I
like,
just thought it was really
you
clever.
know, you just show the same thing again but different, and
Yeah.
immediately you're like, I know what's happening.
And it's really real. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
characters are so real in it. The bit where like the bullies are like he's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
And like it's a genuine like I
Yeah.
feel like that is how a kid would
And
react.
Mark Addy, and he's just like, oh,
so good.
I just lost the
Passion or whatever
Yeah,
it
I
is,
can't remember
like,
what he
yeah.
says, but he's like, I just lost it. I don't have the zest for music anymore.
Yeah, because it was with his dad.
Yeah,
Like,
because
his
that was
best friend.
That's what made it good.
Yeah.
That's why he loved it.
Man, the bit where he's shoveling snow, the kid, and
Oh,
the mum
yeah.
pulls up, such a well done
He's
scene.
like, no, it's not all right, Mum.
Yeah, and he like breaks down,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, it's again, it's real, and it's
Yeah.
the bit where she doesn't realize at first when she's like, oh, it's all cool.
Yeah.
And then like she realizes, oh, it's beautifully written.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very solid film.
I love it.
I really liked it. I think it's the only one on the list, your list,
Yeah.
that I would watch again.
That's fair.
Like each year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch like Gremlins and Jingle All the Way. I'd
Yeah.
watch them again, but like Jack Frost one, I'd be like, okay, no, I want to watch
Yeah,
Jack Frost.
it's a good film, like
Yeah.
a good Christmas film as well. I think the film's just insane for the fact that the tagline is this: "No dad likes no dad," and it has it's weird juxtaposition of him sliding down a mountain, propelling snowballs with his arms like
Yeah.
they're machine guns,
Yeah.
and then the next moment it's like a really heartfelt movie, but like really well written heartfelt.
Yeah.
It's wild how different tonally it gets at points.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah, it does change.
Henry
it up.
Rollins also in it as the coach. of
Oh,
the-
Sid.
Yeah, whatever his name is,
Sid.
of the team. Like
Yeah, and he's scared of the snowman.
yeah, which is a
So
funny recurring gag.
Yeah, and also the joke, because he's the only one who bumps into him and he's like reversing in a snowplow. He's like, ah.
Yeah.
But the joke towards the end where he asks if he can go and be on the hockey team again.
Yeah.
And Sid won't even look to the side because he knows there's a snowman there.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so scared. But like, if he'd looked, he'd be like, that's the same snowman.
Yeah.
But the joke is just like, he will not look because he's scared of snowmen now.
That's so good. I also really love the little thing about the shot. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the shot that like his dad knows how to do.
J shot.
Yeah.
The J shot.
And he's
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to like he's like said he would teach him and he never did. And then getting that moment where they're just in that weird
Yeah.
ice cave place, which was funny because
Yeah.
it makes no sense why that place
Yeah.
like
I
but-
also. Sorry, no, you carry on.
No, I was just gonna say I really like that moment. I like that it's like they get to share that, and then obviously that pays off with the match he goes to see him play. Yeah.
I think one of the reasons I get a lot of enjoyment out of this film is because I've been reading a trilogy of books recently, which are set in, I think, Sweden, where they play a bunch of ice hockey. Maybe Norway, I'm not, like Scandinavia somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Called Bear Town.
Nice.
Yeah? Have you heard of it?
No.
No, okay. It's by the guy who wrote A Man Called Ove, if you know that.
I've heard of that.
They released a Tom Hanks film this year called A Man Called Otto, which is based on it. Don't know why they changed the name.
It's American.
But he released a trilogy of books. I'm on the third one now. It's all about ice hockey.
Nice.
And about like the relationships with ice hockey and stuff. And it's so insanely different from this film, but it's got the like ice hockey stuff and like the love for ice hockey in it. Yeah,
I get that.
It's not a good vibe.
You should watch The Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Mighty Ducks is great. It's all about ice hockey.
Okay.
It's got Keenan on it.
Yeah.
From SNL and Keenan and Kel. Keenan.
Yeah, I know. I recognise the name, but I don't know who it is.
Also got Emilio Estevez.
Right.
Who's from The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Who's the jock. He's also Charlie Sheen's brother.
Yeah. Something we didn't touch on is that National Lampoon is written by, what's his face? John Hughes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, John Hughes did all that sort of stuff.
Who wrote Breakfast Club. Which is insane, because on the whole, I really like John Hughes movies.
The guy the brother in it, the brother, he's Dennis Quaid's brother in real life.
Yeah.
And which makes him Jack Quaid's uncle, which is funny.
Yes, I know, yeah.
And also the boss in it, I don't know if you spotted this, because I really recognised the boss, you know, the one he kidnaps.
Yes, I did not recognise him.
So I recognised him, but not because of who he was, but because of who he's related to. He's Bill Murray's brother.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he really looks like Bill Murray, and it took me a minute, and I was like, what? Who is he? And I was like, oh, he's a Murray.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed Jack Frost.
Jack Frost's great.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. And like, the ice hockey stuff tied into the things I like.
Fair.
Like, I'm reading it at the moment, and I really enjoyed it. I'd probably watch it again.
Nice. I'm glad.
How many of my films would you watch again?
I mean, I'd definitely watch Klaus again.
Yeah.
I think I would watch Let It Snow again. I don't think I'd watch it regularly, but like if I was talking to someone and they like mentioned it, or like it just came up, I'd be like, I'd watch that film again with you. Yeah. Never watching Nativity again. Never watching.
That's fair enough.
Definitely never watching Princess Switch 1, 2, or 3.
Never watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Wrong, but okay.
And I'll watch the other two probably occasionally.
You gotta watch Jingle All the Way again.
Yeah. Something that I didn't touch on at all that I did kind of want to mention for Gremlins is the theme that's going through it. Of like Americans just fucking with stuff.
Yeah, because they like obviously the whole thing is he buys it when he shouldn't from the Chinatown.
And also the way that they kind of thematically get away with him actually getting it.
Yeah,
because the kid sells it to him. Yeah, and he's been like infected with American ideologies and stuff.
Because he's got a little Game Boy, isn't he, or something? Yeah, and he's got wearing the baseball outfit.
The baseball hat. Yeah, baseball cap.
Man, that's a film ahead of its time, I would say.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that theming of like Americans just like do not listen and just go all guns blazing.
Also, it has the amazing bit at the end where they're about to close the box and he goes, oh
yeah.
And you're like,
also the fact that they just take it away, man. Like they can't be trusted.
Oh.
Yeah. It's sad, but it's like they cannot have it. They cannot be trusted. So we both got
our
list
100% right. That's fascinating. We know each other better than thought we do.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Are there any other Christmas films you'd be watching this year?
No. That's it. I'm all Christmas now. I'm going to watch National Lampoons at some point soon.
I watched a film on Monday that I think would probably make it into my top 5 now.
Awesome.
The Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, what, for the first time? Or just...
Yeah, for the first time.
What?
Yeah.
You've never seen it?
Never seen it before.
Bloody great Christmas film.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I was surprised it wasn't on there last time when you said it.
I would definitely put it on there now.
Great Christmas film.
So good.
Michael Caine's amazing in it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And Kermit's song, One More Sleep Till Christmas. So good.
All great.
And
I'm in it.
Marley and Marley.
I'm in it, yeah. If you had to guess who I was in that film, think about it. Think about people in that film specifically. Think about one character in it.
What, like human people or a Muppet?
No, I'm a Muppet.
You're a
kind
Muppet.
of.
Oh,
Not a famous Muppet. They're only in this film.
Oh, I don't know.
It's a Ghost of Christmas Present.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
It's me!
Yeah.
I watched it as a kid and I was like, yep, okay, there's a girl.
I'm internalizing this personality, yeah.
That's me.
I'm the Ghost of Christmas Present. Yeah, you already said that.
Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Oh, he's big and ginger. Yeah, no, I love that film. It's a classic.
Yeah, I think that.
Actually, I think I'm gonna rewatch that this Christmas. I haven't seen that for a long
I
time.
watched it at GQ Yorks.
Yeah,
It was on. It was really
I should
good.
have gone.
It was really good, like, audience as well.
Nice.
They all clapped at the end, which I didn't like.
You're going, stop it!
No, enough of that now.
Enough, I've had enough.
No, I'm going to spend the rest of the year catching up on all of the films that came out this year that I missed.
Yeah, same.
Just missed so many.
Yikes.
And we'll do our top 10 of the year.
We are gonna do it, okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
I
fuck
want
it.
to.
I don't think I've seen 10 films this
I,
year, but
I was like borderline if we should do it because I've seen so few, but I've caught
I
up
think
on
I
a few
technically
now. I've watched one. Obviously, there has to be a top one, but I've watched one that I'm like, that is the top
I
one.
know what my number one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got two that are like very solidly 1 and 2.
Interesting.
And I only watched one of them very recently.
Hmm.
One of them I watched in summer.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Midsummer?
Mm.
It's Midsummer. Doesn't count. Didn't come out this year. Yeah.
So we'll be back in January, I guess. Maybe we'll leave it a little bit because I'm so
Yeah.
behind on films, and I
Yeah,
feel like
let's
you
do
are
that.
as
I am
well.
as well, yeah.
There's a few that I
That'll give us
definitely want to
time.
catch before we rank them.
It's a good show.
So we'll maybe do like mid to late January.
Yeah.
I think sounds good.
You said last podcast.
Oh, fuck off.
You said the person who won
Yeah,
would get a prize.
yeah.
And then I could see you looking around right now for something. And then when I brought it up that you said a prize and you said you didn't have one,
Yeah.
you said for the Christmas one.
Yeah. I actually meant Christmas 2025.
That's not how this works, Jake.
I'll sort something out for the ranking of the top 10
You
films.
said that last time about
it
this
might
one.
potentially become a recurring joke.
No! Where's my prize? Okay, well.
I'll think about it. Until next year.
Until January. Yeah, until next year.
Yeah.
Until next year, you won't hear us, but we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Silly bit. I didn't know if I was going to remember that.